Alright, so last session, it began with our adventurers deciding to go to the shops and see what they could buy before leaving for their raid. Um, the party's monk decided that it would be a good idea to try to steal something from one of the shops, at which point she was caught and ended up getting a golden eye after some mischievous things ended up happening.
Shut up.
So she now is blind in one of her eyes and has a golden eye to replace it. This golden eye is magical and it is a cursed item. And then the rest of our adventurers and the monk, surprisingly, had to fend off a band of pirates as their ship was attacked on their way to the raid. A mysterious figure in a cloak appeared on the enemy ship as the ship blinked from what seemed to be out of thin air right next to them. The enemy ended up raiding their ship and taking a book of unknown origins from the party. And they watched as the ship once again just teleported out of thin air. They decided that after repairing, they were going to go ahead and try to meet up with their captain, who was on a different ship on their way to the raid. As they neared the area where the raid was supposed to take place, they come upon a ship that is broken, burning, on shambles. Splintered wood lies throughout the waters with bodies floating. As they got closer, they recognized the bodies as their dead crewmates. And this is where we leave our adventurers after the last session.
Wonderful.
What would you like to do?
Check the status of. Is that a PlayStation? Check the status of the ship. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that's actually the first thing I do is start checking on people.
So you guys are pulling bodies out of the water to check to see if you recognize them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort of do the same, except
Also, if I don't
looking-
recognize them, I pull for their pockets.
I'm looking specifically for the captain.
As you guys... See, you guys are able to grab, like, a net off the dock of the ship, and you guys are able to throw it into the water and gather up bodies as you go. After you guys get about 5 bodies, you guys pull them up in groups of about 5 onto the deck to try to assess the damage, assess who it is, and the damages. Out of the first group, you recognize 2 out of the 5 as fellow crewmates, and 3 of the 5 are people that you've never seen before. The people that you've never seen before seem to have a branding on the left side of their cheek, and it's a weird symbol that looks like a flame turning in on itself. It's black, and it has a bone running through it.
Is there any way I would recognize the symbol?
This is a symbol that, actually, go ahead and make a religion check for me.
Okay. Legit. 22?
Okay, so you would recognize this symbol as one of the symbols of Algar. One of his many symbols that he has.
Okay. I let people know if anyone's curious.
And the symbol is often associated with warlocks, people who have, like, made a pact with some other entity that Algar has created. Though you aren't sure which entity this specific symbol belongs to. So are you guys continuing to drag up bodies?
Mm-hmm.
The next set of 5 bodies, you guys recognize all of them happen to be from your crew, and these are distinguished members of the other crew. They're members that you guys know to be among the captain's best.
So who wants to pull straws to see who tells the captain?
I'll tell the captain.
I believe
Let's just find him first.
So you guys do this for probably the next, hour and a half, with the time that it takes to turn the ship, get it maneuvering correctly, to collect all the bodies. Once you have all the bodies, you line them up on the ship. There's about 45 of them. And they're all just laying on the ship with their arms crossed across their chest. Some of them friends, some of them enemies. As you go ahead and make an investigation check to see if you can find the captain.
I don't know. 11.
So as you inspect the bodies and you walk back and forth, you look at the faces closely, the ones that have been burnt and those that have been like charred from the fires and arcane energy. Some of them have been melted away from acid damage, presumably by arcane means. As you like stroll down and you look at all the faces, you do not see the captain's face among them.
Were there any survivors?
Of all the bodies that you pulled up, all of them were corpses. None of them were bodies. I mean,
Do we have a
none of them
total
were
like, crew
alive.
that we could account for, so that way we know if there's any prisoners that have been taken.
What was that?
Like, is there like a tally that we could check off to see how many dead people we have found versus how many people might still be alive, whether they're prisoners or trapped somewhere?
Make a history check for me to see if you can remember how many crew members were on the other ship.
We had a long rest right after the battle, right?
No. You guys would have had a short rest after the battle.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. So looking among the bodies, you know that there is typically around 30 people to a ship. Looking at the bodies, it seems like 7 of your crew are missing.
Alright, and that includes the captain.
Correct. It includes the captain.
Alright, so I would say that a captain of our power, speaking to the crew, would definitely have been taken as a prisoner. He's probably worth something somewhere. And then there's also the book that was taken previously with all of the artifacts or whatever they were. Does anyone remember?
That was actually the session that we ended up retconning, so you guys have no idea what the book was that was taken. Your characters that have no idea.
Oh.
You guys just saw a book.
Never mind. There's a book that's been taken, and I don't know what it's about, but I bet it's important if they wanted it that bad.
No, we did get information about the book because we had
Yeah,
a
you guys
prisoner.
interrogated him, so... Oh wait, yeah, that's right. He did tell you guys that it had artifacts.
I remember because I have notes.
It's like 7 a.m., so I don't remember that, but I remember it now. I just didn't remember it initially.
Okay, book, magic, something to do. The captain's gone. What should we do? I mean, who's the best at? Who should be the next captain? Who's the best at commandeering and piloting and?
There's a chain of
manning and-
command that is followed when a captain goes missing or a captain is dead. The first mate would take control of the fleet after the captain dies, and then if the first mate ends up dying, then the second mate, and then the third mate, and so on and so forth.
Naturally, who is the first mate?
The first mate is... the first mate is Oron Timeseer. He was Denny's character, but Denny ended up having to leave the campaign. So, he's currently, like, under deck. He's sick with, like, scurvy. He's extremely sick with scurvy.
So that means somebody else needs to take over. Who would be after that?
So the third mate then
It would be the second mate.
would be the second mate. Sorry, second mate. So 10 captain, second. How are they doing?
The second mate is, he's fine. He's on the ship.
All right. Does he already know his duties, or should we alert him that he is now captain?
Have you guys told the crew that the captain is missing yet?
No.
Or are you guys keeping this information to yourself?
I think we should keep it to
honestly,
ourselves until, like, get the rest of those
they're
bodies
not
on.
stupid. There's
Yeah,
only
they're gonna
so many
notice.
people, and it's only one ship.
Fair.
I mean,
What
the
are they
guy's
going to
kind of
think?
loud, and you notice if he's missing.
Yeah, I mean, even though he was on the other ship, that other ship is violently destroyed right in front of us. I mean, like, they're gonna put two and two together eventually, and I feel like they'd be upset if we didn't tell them outright. I mean, they are our crew, and it's not like we're the captain or we're the second mate or whatever, first mate. Like, we don't have very much way in decision.
All right. I'm out ranked. Oh, not ranked, but outvoted
Well, I
on
mean,
this one.
all right. So, who should tell them?
Not it.
Oh, I'll do it. I have the most charisma.
All right. I mean,
All right.
Okay, and how do you go about telling them?
Well, I start by playing a little song to cool everyone's nerves. Oh, well, all right. I'm having an off day. I guess one of my strings was broken in the fight, so.
Oh.
But like, I start, asking around first, like, hey, we haven't seen the captain. I think the captain's missing, and I'm like very. Like, I try not to, like, I keep it kind of hush and try to avoid starting a panic, if that makes any sense.
right.
Like, I
Okay,
start
so
talking to more and more
you're telling people one by one then that the captain's missing?
Just kind of going into. I'm sure that people are kind of gathered in groups, tending to wounded people, and I'm just going up to them, kind of giving them a heads up to what I've noticed, or what we've noticed collectively as a party.
Okay, and how are you telling them?
Just I don't know, in a polite, somber tone, concern for my fellow man, and whatever else species is on here. I mean, I don't know if we have any dwarves on the ship or not, but
If we do, I've probably drinking with them a bunch.
But no, I do it in a very calm, diplomatic tone. That's just trying to make sure that everyone's informed while maintaining crew integrity or crew morale as much as possible, given what just happened.
Okay, go ahead and make a straight charisma check for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Oh.
So as you walk around and you start telling more and more people, you watch as like the person that you told the first time goes over to a group of people and tells them, and so on and so forth, and the ship begins to get louder and louder, and it ends up turning into full-born shouting and people pushing each other and fighting about who's going to be the next captain.
All right.
So you hear people shouting at each other and just like screaming, punching each other, being like, "No, you aren't gonna be the captain. That's gonna be me."
As a note, my character decides this was a more interesting result and starts writing it down to put into her stories.
Oh god. All right. Amidst a minor panic attack, can I try to yell and get their attention so I can try to say something to them? Because in such calamity, they hear me if I started giving a speech.
Sure. Go ahead. Make a charisma check.
Oh,
Please roll a 20.
Oh, that was even
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
So you end up cupping your hands and you shout to try to get their attention, and they just all look at you like, and they're just like, "Shut up, you fucking bloke! You want to be the captain? Hell no! This priority doesn't fucking belong to you."
Oh my god, they're calling me bloke, so I don't even better English.
Did your voice crack a little bit when you yelled at them? I feel like it cracked a little bit. Just a little.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's just so scary.
Alright.
So yeah, well, with that, the crew like turns into like more turmoil. They start hitting each other more and more.
I'm going to go to a far corner, where there's not a lot of people fighting, and pull both storyteller and Icarus back with me. And we're gonna stand there for like a couple of seconds, like a quick 5-10
that doesn't work.
minutes.
Sorry, never mind.
Until like everyone's, for the most part, tired themselves down. Or we could do that.
Okay, and Merrick, what were you doing?
I wanted to climb the mast a little bit and do the loud shell Gandalf style silence.
Sure, go ahead and climb up the mast, make a charisma check for me. And a constitution check to see how far your voice carries. Amongst all the shouting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we should all probably tap our characters real quick.
Well, I mean, that's a good cantrip.
Not an intimidation.
This is going to be a straight charisma check and a constitution check. So constitution check to see how far your voice carries. And then if you're like trying to intimidate them into silence, then I would say it would be intimidation instead of charisma, but
yeah, and trying to make it like louder, like.
I mean, like, are you trying to like intimidate them in the sense of like you want control, or?
I'm just trying to make everyone shut up. And, like, I'm just like.
Hey, listen.
Loud. Silence.
Yeah, go ahead and roll intimidation and constitution.
Best of luck. Oh.
We're doing so great.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh yeah, he just yelled threats to the crew, and everyone heard it.
So you shout loud enough that everybody is like pauses for a second and looks at you to like see what you're saying, and then they just hear silence and they just like groan and they go back to shouting and punching each other. At this point, the like deck has like it has like blood splatters on the deck, and it's like complete chaos amongst the crew right now.
Okay, where is the second mate?
The second mate or the first mate?
The first mate's with Scurvy, so where's the second mate?
The second mate is down with the first mate, like, assisting him throughout this entire thing, because he knows that, like, you can't calm down a mutiny once it's started until people, you know, calm down, so.
That's why I'm going to continue doing what I was doing before. Pulling our two squishies away from the fight.
Alright, let's go down to the deck.
Squishy.
This sounds like a great idea.
To me, you were squishy.
Okay, very squishy, but I've got pointy ears too. Okay. Anyway, what do you guys think we should do? I guess we have to wait out the mutiny then, because we've all failed. I mean, except for you.
I could try, but don't really want to.
I mean, they already hate themselves and us just because we're part of the crew. So you might as well give it a shot. You've only got one shot, one chance to blow. I believe in you.
Alright. I'm gonna stand up and crack my knuckles. I can't do that right now. I already cracked them. Take it. Whoever's closest to me, I'm gonna knock out. Well, I'm just gonna punch one in the head, another one, and go, "If you don't shut up!" And try to intimidate everyone into shutting up. And yeah.
We are desperate.
So you're going to join the fight, essentially?
Yeah. Join the fight until everyone stop talking. Because if I hit enough people, I'm sure I'll knock them out. They've all been hitting each other enough to where I could probably, hopefully, I think.
Okay, just so you know, there are crew members that are more skilled than you are.
Fair enough. I'm not going to hit anyone. Then I'm just gonna go, "You all are acting like idiots! Stop!" And just yell at them.
Make a constitution. Make a constitution check to see how far your voice carries, and then go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Not a lot of people hear me, I guess. And then intimidation. Oh, for the love, please.
Alright, so you shout, and like 2 or 3 people are able to hear you, and they look at you. The 2 or 3 that hear you, they don't seem, like, frightened, but they end up, like, stopping hitting each other, and they just, like, look at you kind of, like, with a blank expression.
Thank you. At least some of you guys are above reason.
Yeah, I would say about 2 with your constitution roll, so we'll
2?
say 2
Okay.
instead of 3.
Okay. At least
All
2 of
right.
you guys
So
are.
can we recruit these 2 people to our side?
You can certainly try.
Jeez.
Oh,
I'm not
thank
gonna
you.
do that. I'm just gonna say, try to stay away from the fight, and if you can, try to get everyone else to calm down, so that we can actually do this civilly, and not like a bunch of Neanderthals. Please and thank you. I don't usually say please and thank you, so you know this is serious when I say it.
I mean, she's not wrong.
They kind of, like, look at you, and then they look at each other, and then they look at you, and they go, well, this is the way the world works. We all kind of just, the strongest always comes out on top. That's the way the world's always been.
Well, currently
Well,
the
how-
world is stupid and makes no sense, so it you know.
Currently, the world is upside down, and usually in this chain of events, we'd follow the chain of command. However, the captain is not consumed dead. He could be missing. We never found his body. Therefore, if the captain does find out that all of you idiots decide to mutiny and destroy the last remaining ship left, along with most of its surviving and capable crew, I'm pretty sure he would be pissed. And if you really want to talk about the strongest being the best, I'm pretty sure the captain would have a word or two to
Icarus,
say to
make
you
a
right
strength
now,
saving throw
and
for
whether or
me.
not he's going to whoop your ass.
Oh,
Anyway, what?
strength
Make a
saving?
strength saving throw for me.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
fuck. Oh, fuck. That was legitimately not the worst I've ever done.
So 2 people that are fighting, they bump into the back of you, and they make you stumble a bit, but you're able to, like, keep your footing.
That was my dip stat. Like, legit. Anyway, sorry for rambling.
I'm gonna go back down to where our he. I'm gonna go down to where our captive. Oh my gosh.
Where your captive is, yeah. The
Yeah.
prisoner.
Prisoner.
Our
That's the word I was looking
interrogatee.
for. It's prisoner. I'm gonna go where he is.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a chair with me
alright.
as well. I'm gonna take 2
Alright,
chairs with me.
I guess I should go check in with the first and second mate.
So you guys are splitting up, and one of you is going towards the brig, and the other one is going towards the first mate, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless anyone has any better ideas.
Okay, and American Storyteller, are you 2 going with them and going in pairs, or what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go with my my less squishy companion because my rolls aren't good enough tonight to keep myself up.
I'm gonna stay where the fighting is.
You're gonna stay where the fighting is?
Yeah.
Before I go down, I'm gonna go, hey Merrick. I might need you in a little bit. Just let you know. I'll let you know. And then I go down the thing.
Remember my flower. May it grant you luck.
Oh yeah, I do still have the flower braided in my hair. That is the most wholesome thing ever. Okay, let's go torture
Thank
this
God.
guy.
As you
I
guys
might
make
suck at convincing people, but at least I'm wholesome.
As you guys make your way down the stairs, you guys see that there's, like, dense and splintered wood on the walls and stuff of the stairwell, from where it seems like fighting has been taking place as well. And as you guys, like, make yourselves down to the second floor of the ship, you see that there's less people fighting here, but there's still about 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 groups of people, sort of, like, split off into pairs that are fighting each other. And you guys can see that, like, the mapping table is completely wrecked. And then you guys see that there's about 6 or 7 people surrounding the cage where the captive is held. And it seems like they're talking to each other in, like, hushed tones.
I wonder what's happening here. Please move. now.
Is she the one seeing all these hush hush people, or?
Wait, do I
So
recognize
this is on the
people?
second floor, so anybody that was going down to the third floor would also, like, see them hushed around the cage that the prisoner's in.
Ah, all right.
I said what I said.
Who are you saying it to?
To the people that surround the cage.
Okay, so you're walking up to where they are.
Yeah.
Are you trying to hear what they're saying, or are you just approaching them and then speaking to them?
I'll try to hear what they're saying first.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Oh no. Well, not that bad.
I believe in you.
So as you approach them, it seems like this is a more civilized group, as they're kind of like discussing what to do with the prisoner amongst themselves. They're like, should we wait until and see what happened with the captain, or should we take his life now? Like, it seems as though they're speaking amongst each other and like seriously considering the different options that they have.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to them and go, I have a solution that's kind of a bit of both.
Oh,
If you will
Kaya,
excuse me.
what's that?
I bring up 2 chairs. I go, somebody grab some rope. And somebody help me carry this guy out here.
And where do you think you're taking him?
Oh, no, we're staying right here, near the cage. I just want to bring him out the cage, into the chair, and tie him up. So we can have a little chat.
Sure. One of
I
them
mean,
grabs
maybe
a
if you
stool.
tortured him above deck, it would raise morale.
Yeah, well, one of them grabs a stool, slams it into the floorboards outside to make sure that, like, he's not going to be able to jostle and move it. You guys, like, watch as the wood splinters underneath the force of the slam down stool. And then another person brings over, like, he brings over rope that seems like it used to be rigging rope, but it was unbraided to make several smaller ropes.
Alright.
Well, best of luck, Kaya.
So I'm gonna get him up the cage. We're gonna tie him up, make sure he can't move. Put him in this little chair that is a stool that is a
Okay,
stool
and
that is a chair.
Icarus, are you watching this, or are you going down as well? Or are you going down to where the first and second mate are?
I'm currently watching this. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, it's pretty throwing.
And I'm gonna grab a stool for myself, sit right in front of him, and slowly start taking off my monk wraps. I'm just gonna, without looking at him, just looking at my hands, just say, so, some things have changed. I'm sure you hear the ruckus, the noise, the fighting, the yells and screams of people probably going unconscious and having their skulls split open. Which means that little thing you pulled where you wanted to just see our captain so very badly kind of backfired, bud. So now you're gonna tell us every single thing. And when I say every single thing, I mean every single thing that you know. Otherwise, I will torture you so badly that you will wish you were dead. So let's talk.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
I believe in you, hon. It's a good speech. God fucking damn it.
Well, Missy, it seems that you don't understand the laws of the sea. I don't remember what what accent I used for him before, so we're gonna go with Irish.
Just go for it.
That's
Well,
fine.
It seems that you don't know the law of the sea. You can't break the laws that the gods have set for us.
Alright, I would like to whisper to Kaya.
Your captain isn't dead, so technically, Pale still applies.
Captain isn't
Okay,
dead.
I'm whispering to Kaya. Okay, we know that he's correct. We also know that the captain's not here. We also know that everyone apparently sucks at intimidation and talking today. However, I could try to charm him.
I was really
What say
looking forward
you?
to torturing people. Because I'm angry
Well,
and I
you
want to
didn't
hurt
intimidate
someone.
him, and it just doesn't seem to be doing much.
Yeah, but when they refuse, that's when you start the torture.
Right, but it's a lot harder to charm someone after you failed to torture them.
He hears the word torture and he goes, "Oh, Missy, that would break the law. That would break the law of the sea."
Good thing I don't very much care about my life.
Oh, it's not our laws. It's the law of the gods. You can't just you can't just tell Boros that you don't give a shit about his laws. That's not the way this works.
You will literally be bad things will happen if you inflict violence. It's not really. I wouldn't recommend.
Gotta hate logic. Fine, charm him.
All right. Do 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 do. Did that cast it? It didn't cast it. It says I cast it at a certain level, and then it just gives me the description. It's not fun. What do I do?
You're fine. I just need
Yeah,
to
just-
roll a wisdom saving throw for him.
All right.
I put my monk wrap speckle on quickly.
He succeeds on his saving throw.
Fucking bitch.
He rolled a 20, so.
Well, now, I mean, I assume he knew I tried something, wiggled my fingers, and it didn't work.
Yeah, you essentially like mutter the he like sees you as you incant the words of the spell and you move your hands in the formation. You watch as like the arcane circle like forms in front of you. It's pink and has like runes on the outside of it, and as you attempt to like lay it over him, it just kind of like fades away.
Well, remember what I said about taking a diplomatic approach?
He's just
I'm
sitting
out of
there with like a
ideas.
very, very smug approach. Like he has a very smug look on his face.
Okay, now I understand that I wanted to take this peacefully, but now even I want to kick the shit out of him.
See? Oh wow, I'm rubbing off on you. Aw.
But it's not the good thing to do.
You and your
I mean,
good...
do laws really apply in this situation? I think it matters more if we get information out of him and it benefits all of us, but it's also not good to hurt someone. But if you want to do it, I'm not saying I would stop you, per se.
Would anyone stop me? I'm like looking at the other gentlemen that were around before. Is anyone going to stop me from hurting him?
Nope.
All of them just kind of like put their hands up and like back away. They're like, "All yours."
Wonderful.
Oh lord.
I take my monk wraps back off. Because I want to. Ho, 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 ho. I am happy. I finally get to do. I'm gonna take my
Actually,
dagger.
I'm gonna give her one of my bardic inspiration dies.
Oh, thank you.
Like I tap you on the shoulder. It's like you got this.
Thank you. So,
Just sort of
remember in-
chuckles uncomfortably.
spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it, but why have you not played it by this point? But remember in The Last of Us when those guys had Ellie and Joel was interrogating the one dude in the chair and he stabbed the knife into his knee? I want to do that.
So
I don't own
you're
a PlayStation, so that's why I'm.
Haven't played The Last of Us, Han, but you do you.
go ahead and make a medicine check for me, Kaya.
A medicine?
Don't
Yeah, I just
hit a
want
major
to
artery,
see.
otherwise we're fucked.
I want to see if you have knowledge of anatomy. So
Either way, it's a dagger going in his leg, so even if I miss the kneecap.
Oh,
okay,
damn.
so
Oh,
I
damn.
would say that you know
Ooh.
well enough where the arteries are to not hit the arteries. So I would say that you're doing this without intent to kill him, and you know where to strike to like miss the arteries.
Okay, good. So I
I
just
mean, that was
stab
like a surgically precise strike.
Whoo!
Okay, go ahead and roll a d4 for me. It's an auto hit, so.
Okay.
Okay, so you stab the knife
bad.
into his knee, and he screams as the knife like pierces his skin, and he just like looks to you, and he like grunts, and he kind of like begins to like laugh with a grin on his face as like there's blood showing in his teeth from the beatings that he took previously. And then what are you asking him? And you're obviously doing an intimidation check, so.
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna go. Tried civil, didn't work. So we're doing it my way. I want to know everything that you know. Everything. Start talking.
Just do what she says. Even she scares me.
Okay, and then make your intimidation check.
That's
Yeah,
better.
all right. Yeah, better.
So he looks at you, and you can see that like fear begins to show in his eyes. And he goes, and he says this in kind of like, not with as much assertiveness as he had before. I'm more scared of my captain than I am of you.
Then
All
let's
right.
change
Well,
that.
This is too much blood for me in a non-medically related scene. Besides the precise surgical strike, I think I should check on the second and first mate.
I'm gonna
Okay, so
place.
you're like backing
Oh,
away at this point and going down to the third level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best of luck.
thank you. I'm gonna place one hand, keeping the knife there, just moving around it. One hand on each thigh, and just start casting burning hands into his thighs.
Okay, and you're just
Oh
doing
Lord.
this with the intention of burning him, not killing him, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Which means I lost some more. Wait, how much is burning hands?
So you kind of like rub your hands together, and as you like rub them together, because you're a monk, you were able to like create enough friction to like ignite the palms of your hand, and you watch as like just a thin layer of flames are covering both of your hands, and then you pretty much just put your hands on his legs and making a burn mark of your 5 fingers and your palm. He screams out in pain as like you remove your hands, and the skin where your hands were is melted away, exposing the flesh that was underneath. And he's like sweating profusely. His entire body is like covered in sweat. His shirt is completely drenched, and it's pretty bloody. The cloth of where it was, where your hands were, is melted away, and there's a lot of blood in that area.
See, your captain has a lot to lose right now. I have absolutely nothing to lose. So what I do to you, completely contingent on whether or not you tell me what you know. I suggest talking.
Okay, make another intimidation check for me.
Oh, that was worse.
Okay, so he looks like at this point he's pretty shaken, and he looks at you and he says, "Well, what do you want to know? I've already given you so much information. What else could you possibly want from me?"
I want to know the name of the ship, the name of your captain, and the last place you guys were before you left for sea.
You don't understand. If I tell you, he'll kill me.
Oh, if you don't tell me, I will. And I'll make sure it's long and slow. It'll be very much enjoyable for me. Maybe not so much for you.
So you can tell that he's like pretty terrified at this point. But he's still like he's still just not like giving away information. All the information that he seems to know, he's given you so far. It looks like he's still holding a little bit of information, but it seems as though like he's too scared to give it to you. He's too scared of his captain at the moment to give it to you.
This really does suck.
Let's see what kind of magic I can use on him.
Really, anyone can join me. I
Yeah, I'm gonna
don't
come
mind.
up next to you over here. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to cast. Let's see. I'm going to cast Charm Person. Yeah, Charm Person.
Okay.
If it'll let me. Okay.
So he has to make a wisdom saving throw at advantage. What's your DC?
My spell DC is 13.
Okay, so he fails the save, just barely.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
he still failed.
Shit.
Oh, mhm.
Well done. I'm proud.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you know, I'm like, this is my new friend over here. Why don't we Why don't you not just let her know what she wants to know, so that we can be on our way.
He looks at you, and he seems to think of you as a kind face among the crowd.
Uh-huh.
So he just like, and he's just like looking at you, kind of like entranced. And then he's just like sitting there, and he goes, "You don't understand. If I tell her, he'll kill me. I'll die."
Who? So we can protect you.
You see, like he tries to like talk, but there's something like holding him back. Whenever he tries to say the name, he kind of like chokes a little bit and has to clear his throat.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make an Arcana check to see if he's been enchanted or anything like that to prevent him from speaking through magic, and not just an unwillingness. If that's okay.
Sure.
Oops. Never mind.
So as far as you know, he's just like choking back his words. He's not like enchanted, from what you can tell.
I do whisper it to the rest of my party, though, saying that it's possible that the captain is using some other means to keep him from saying their name. And everybody went quiet. All right.
Yeah, everybody's being quiet.
I'm
Well,
I'm not
you
there,
would pretty much
so
just tell
I
Gaia,
would
because
hope
Merrick's
so.
above ground and Icarus is down under.
Well, I tell
Under.
mine.
Well then, what was the point of me using 2 key points to cast Burning Hands then? If he wasn't gonna be able to talk, I am the muscle. I am the second muscle of the group.
Well, still, I feel like our good cop, bad cop routine seems to have helped a little bit.
That is true. Can I see on the side of his face where those other guys had that branding? Can I see if he has the same branding on his face? Or
So looking at his face, you can tell that he does have that like same marking. It seems more like a tattoo than it does a like branding.
Real quiet.
I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. I forgot I had to push to talk on. Um, is I'm gonna hold his head to the side and go, is this where that could this possibly be what's keeping him from talking? I'm asking storyteller.
Okay, sorry, what did you ask? My dog was pestering me.
I'm asking if the tattoo on the side of his neck that was on the other bodies, if this could possibly be what's keeping him from talking.
Let's see. Would I be able to make a check? I mean, because I think, just from player knowledge, yes, it could be some kind of seal or sigil, but would my character know that?
Your College of Valor, so you don't really have a whole. Are you proficient in Arcana?
No, I'm not proficient in Kana. No.
Okay, so no, you wouldn't know about this marking or if it could be used as a binding or anything like that. That's not something your character would know.
Okay. I do suggest, however, that maybe we can consult our friends to figure out, see if maybe they would be able to help us come up with a solution.
That's fair. I look to the guy and I go, I'm sorry about your legs.
He looks at you kind of like with this like very, very pained look. And he looks like he's kind of exhausted. Like he looks absolutely exhausted.
I grab him by the face and I go, maybe next time. And I take my dagger out of his knee and I go, somebody, like, you guys can figure out what to do with him. There's no possible way we can get any other information out of this guy. Well, maybe. I'm gonna go find Icarus.
Okay, and Icarus, while that all was going on, let's go ahead and do your part while that was going on. I would say that it probably took them 20 to 25 minutes throughout that interrogation.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so as you walk down the stairs and you hear the screaming behind you of the man as he is being tortured, as you walk down the stairs, you see, and looking at the bottom of the stairs, you can see that there's like fruits and vegetables scattered about from where the kitchen was. And again, there's the same like dents and splinters of wood on the walls as you walk down the staircase, indicating that there was fighting. And you hear some like voices as you start walking down the stairs. You hear some voices over the screaming that's behind you. And it seems like they're fighting amongst each other, like in angered tones,
All right.
like arguing back and forth.
All right, I'd like to see if I can overhear what this argument is about before I get involved.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
Alrighty. Perception. Yeah.
So you like are able to catch a few words here and there, but you aren't really able to understand what it is that they're talking about. Like you hear him first command, and that's really all you're able to like make out over their hushed whispers.
All right, well, I've got nothing left to do or lose, so I figured I'd approach them.
Okay, as you come downstairs and round the corner, you see a group of people surrounding a dead body that's on the ground. And they look at you, and then they look at the body, and then they look back at you, and they say, "Go back upstairs."
I'm awfully sorry, mates, and I do not mean to cause any additional trouble, but I must know what is going on.
You don't need to know this. Go back upstairs.
If it's about the chain of command, I'm sure there is just a peaceful, diplomatic way to sort things out.
Not anymore. Not after what we've done. Go back upstairs.
let me guess, you killed the guy with scurvy, didn't you?
Oh no, he's still alive and is caught right there. Like I said, go back
Well,
upstairs.
then
If you find
who's
out
the
anything
dead
else, we're
body?
going to have a problem.
I don't wish to start a problem, and I don't see why there would be a problem, considering I don't have a problem with what you may or may not have done to cause this newly formed dead body.
Make a persuasion
I
check.
just want to know if there's any way I could help, for the love of God. Why?
So they, like, look you up and down, and then they say the same thing. Go back upstairs.
Have I gotten down there yet?
No, you wouldn't at this point. This is going on
Yeah.
while you're doing your intimidation.
Dang.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. I'm all brains, no muscle, and my brains ain't functioning. Alright.
Can't save my small bean.
Don't call me that, I'm taller than you. Anyway. Alright, Okay, who is the one that is just very generically threatening me?
He's very big. You've seen him around. He like repairs the ship when the ship gets damaged and that kind of stuff. He's the one that does the heavy lifting. He'll like carry boards around and that kind of thing. He's very large and muscular. I would say that you could compare him to something like The Rock, except the muscles are like more bulgy, as in like he bulked up in an unhealthy way.
Oh.
So his body is kind of like unproportioned.
So 20% sexy, 80% terrifying. Got it. Alright, well, charm person, I don't know about that. Let's see, I mean, I already tried persuading him. Okay, well, listen, good sir, I know that you are a very incremental part of this crew, and I understand that you hold high ranking in my mind, honestly, because someone needs someone to fix the ship, and that's a very, very important job, as well as moving things to and fro, and I just believe that we all need to be united together as one crew, instead of divided amongst ourselves like the idiots who want to gouge their own eyes out up above. I mean, honestly, if there is a problem, I'm sure there's all a way that we can fix it together.
Okay, go ahead and make your choice of deception or persuasion, because there was like some lies mixed in there. Unless you actually do hold him as a high-ranking, like, important member.
I mean, I consider him important, but not super high-ranking. Ooh, that's a little... Well, let's try deception. That's better, but not as great.
So he kind of like... He looks at you, and just due to the fact that, like, you sweet talked him, he seems to let up a bit, and he goes... You know, I don't think you're so bad. What did you just want to see the body, or why are you down here?
I just honestly want to try to reunite what's left of the non-stupid crew. I mean, honestly, you heard the idiots upstairs. You've seen the people just the floor above me going whack job crazy over some prisoner guy just because we can't get his last shred of information out of him. I don't honestly know where to stand with that one yet. But still, I just feel like we need to collaborate, see the situation we're in, and understand it. And I can't be a part of that team that helps you if I don't know what's going on. And honestly, if there is a problem, I'm sure I'd be able to understand.
You're right, they're idiots. If you want command, you have to take it. And then they step away, and you look at the body, and it's the second mate.
I knew it!
Well, I mean, that was along the lines of what I figured, to be honest. I'm not one to be fighting for the position of the captain, so you don't have that to worry about. However, I do not think this was the proper choice of action. What brought you to take his life?
Chain of command. If it's gone, then the only thing that's left is to take a vote.
All right then. So second mate dead, first mate ill. Obviously, he can't do anything to help us. So
Oh,
I
that's what
take
we were
it you
talking
were
about. We're
squabbling.
debating whether or not to make him dead too.
Right. Well, I don't believe it's like kicking a man when he's down. I mean, that's just a loss of honor in your own sake. I'd say, let him get better, and then we can let him make the decision to see if he wants to fight you on your choice.
Who cares
So,
about honor? We're pirates.
I know we're pirates, but have you not heard we're as thick as thieves, as juicy as burglars, just a couple of dummy thick steely boys? Like, honestly, we are supposed to band together because without a pirate crew and without a pirate union, more or less, even if it's just us, how are we going to operate? If there is no sense of honor or dignity, or just above level intelligence, how are we going to successfully operate a crew that trusts us and is not going to try to overthrow you while you are sleeping in your bunk tonight?
You know, you're right. The crew does need unity. And then with that, he nods to one of the guys, and he's looming over the first mate, and he leans down. He like nods his head, leans down with his dagger, and then slits the first mate's throat. See, now we have unity.
Did you just call him
You know,
thick?
dummy thick steely boys. Anyway, that's not really what I meant, but what do you think that is going to help achieve?
Oh, now
Where
the
is
chain
your
of command is
unity?
gone. Now we just have to take a
Okay.
vote.
All right, who are the prime candidates for our new captain then? I mean,
Well, let's
honestly,
go
we don't
find
have much
out.
of a decision left.
And then with that, he begins to like walk up the stairs with his band of like 6 or 7 people following behind him.
All right, so as he's walking up the stairs, is it alright if I like hurriedly go to the recently dead body and see if there's anything I can do about it?
Sure. Which dead body? The first mate or the second one?
I mean, the first mate because he was the most recently killed, more or less.
Okay. So you run up to the first mate. You see that the jugular has been like cut cleanly through. And it seems like he was also able to slice through the trachea with one like swift movement of his knife, which is pretty skillful. From what you know. It's not often that somebody is able to make that clean of a cut with a dagger and that quick of a movement.
All right, but I mean, even after being decapitated, persons can survive for up to like 20 to 30 seconds. So, is it possible that I could use Healing Word to try to heal him?
You can try if you'd like. From like what you know and the amount of people that you've healed, though, you know that you aren't going to be able to fix this. So if you want to do it, then I would say that it would be more out of like a panic state than with a calm mind.
I mean, honestly, Icarus was just spending so much time trying to keep his composure after seeing that they recently killed someone who was supposed to be captain, and that means there's no unity. And then because I brought up unity, they're just like, all right, you helped us make our decision. Killed the other guy. So yeah, and a frantic bit of Healing Word. Frantic, just having a stroke. I'd throw Healing Word at this guy. And honestly, yeah, didn't do much, wasted a spell slot, but that's what he would do, so. And
Okay.
then just panicked.
So you make a ball of light on your fingertip, and as you send it to as you send it to his throat, you watch as the light kind of just like dissipates when it hits his body. Rather than doing the normal glow and absorption that it normally does, it seems like it just hits the body and then immediately disappears. Like a flashlight was just turned on and then immediately turned off.
God. So much death, so much killing, so much torture. It's just there's always a greater good. We can always come back from this. So sort of in like just sort of stumbling, search his body for anything that might be important for the ship to help stop everything. I don't know, just anything that might be important because he was the first one. So.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
All right, sweet. Well, that was balanced, but dumb.
So looking over his body and just going through his pockets and stuff, you're able to find like 3 like loose gold coins that he had in his pockets and a key to the captain's quarters.
All right. I would like to place 2 of the coins, 2 of the gold coins on his eyes, just because, and then leave the other one in his pocket, but take the captain's key.
Okay.
And then check the other dead body since I'm down here.
Okay. Flipping over the second mate's body, just like feeling it, you can tell that in the 15 or so minutes that this has been going on, his body isn't as warm as it should be. It's still warm, but it's you can tell like it normally takes about an hour for all the heat to leave like a dead body, and you can tell that the heat has started to leave this one.
Well, could I check into a pulse? Make sure he's not dead completely.
If you'd like
Or
to,
is he
you
just
can.
barely enough to leave it?
There's about
Yes,
like
very
4 or
much.
5 stab wounds in his chest.
I mean, you never know.
Okay. So
But
as you like
check
go
for any
through
sign of life.
and you like check for a pulse, you can tell that he's been dead for about 10 minutes.
Well, fuck me sideways and call me Sally. I guess I'll search his body too.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Slightly better. I'll take it.
So once again, as you search through his pockets, you find like 5 loose silver coins and a gold coin in his pockets, and then another key to the captain's quarters.
All right. Place 2 coins on his eyes. Leave the rest in his pockets and take the key.
Okay.
And is there anything else in this room that could possibly be of use to me?
You can search through their their chests that they have at the feet of their hammocks if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Okay, so go ahead and so as you're like searching through the chests that are at like the foot of the first and second mate's hammocks, you find like a few maps and a journal for each of them. And then go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Oh, that was better.
Okay, so the one on the left side, this one belonged to the first mate. You notice that, like, there's a bit of a gap between the bottom of the chest and the sides of the chest as you pull everything out.
Ooh, funky fresh. So I take it, bust it, well, not really bust it, but try to get it open.
So with that, like, gap that's at the bottom, you, like, wiggle it, and you notice that, like, the bottom of the chest is, like, wiggling with your knife.
Alright, so then try to slide it out from the bottom of the chest.
Okay, so with that, you, like, reach your hand into the chest, and you, like, try to pull up on the board. And the board comes away fairly easily to your surprise as you pull it away, and the chest had a false bottom. Underneath the false
Interesting.
bottom of the chest, you find, it looks to be like a leather-bound book. It's fairly thick compared to the journals that he had previously. Just like quickly skimming through the book, you can tell that it was detailed plans of raiding paths, the paths that the captain liked to take, his favored crew members, and so on and so forth. It's just like a list of things that the captain has always kept record of.
I would definitely like to take that book. It seems very important. As well as the maps, because they destroyed the cartography table. And then, could I skim through the journals to see if there's anything that's just blatantly important?
How much time would you like to spend skimming? Do you just want to like run through them super quick because of what's going on, or like how
like,
detailed are you
spend-
looking?
I'm just like looking for anything that might be very apparent to this current mission. So I mean,
Okay.
if it's all just about their life story, I don't.
And then Kaya, at this point, you would start to be coming down the stairs as he's looking through the journals. And Storyteller, I'm assuming, is going to be with you.
Reading a journal.
Sorry, I was talking and I forgot. Push to talk. Yeah. I think she's getting food currently, but yeah, I think she went with
Yeah,
me.
I'm eating. Yeah, but I went with her. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Food. I'm hungry.
So I'm gonna go down after seeing the random steroid-filled dude go past me. Kind of look at him weird. Keep going. See the body go.
Pyroid.
I can't stand you.
That's the point. Now continue.
See the body and go. Shit. Icarus?
Okay. First of all, did not kill them. Did not kill this one on the other side here either. Promise, swear to whatever nature god I believe in. Alright, straight up. They killed him. Okay, they killed the second mate first. He was dead before I even came down here. Maybe he wasn't completely dead, but he was very dead. Okay, besides the point. Anyway, they killed the second mate. They were discussing who was going to be the captain. First mate, we all know, was out with scurvy or whatever. You know, he was sick. He was bedridden. Anyway, I talked to them. I tried so hard. I kind of warmed up to the I don't know if you saw him, like the big jock guy that looked like he did a little bit of the illegals. But anyway, I warmed up to him a little bit, and then he's like, you know what, Icarus? You're right. You're a genius. You're incredible. As he's violently slitting the throat of the first mate. And honestly, that is not what I wanted. That is not what I'm going with this. But anyway, besides the point, they're dead. Tried to save the one who recently died. Couldn't do that.
I'm
Too
gonna
bad.
start
We gotta move on.
him and just like hold him and just go shh.
Just heavy breathing. I wanted to be a pirate. I thought there would be less murdering of our own kind. Anyway, and then just like slowly bring up the book. Just like, this was in the hidden spot in the chest, so obviously it's semi-important. It's a log of the captain's plans. We can't let this get out because if they saw that I was searching people, they would probably be a little confusionated. Also, I have 2 keys to the captain's room specifically. If you want one, I'm sure I could give one to you, because I'm pretty sure you're more stealthy at sneaking into things than I am.
Probably. Am I the stealthiest person here? Wait.
I don't think I can tell you.
We'll find out in due time.
All right. So I'll just sort of palm you a key. We'll just slap it in your hand as I'm still sort of having a seizure. You know, it's great. And anyway, and then sort of take a deep breath, compose myself. Even a dead body makes good fertilizer. We can grow something anew from this.
Of course, you would be the one to say something like that. I'm gonna look in the other chest.
So he kind of already like took out all the contents of the chest, of both the chests, and then like put them on the floor. The rest of them, he seemed to have taken most of the things of importance: the journals, the maps, and then the captain's book.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, since as I saw we were going down into the torture chamber, as I'm now calling it, since they destroyed all the maps and whatever, I took the maps from here. I figured we should keep them safe, considering. I mean, I know about cartography, but I'm not so sure about where we were heading, so I feel like these could be important.
That's fair.
All right.
I'm gonna thumb through the book and kind of look through, not really, kind of skimming, just looking for context clues.
It's a fairly large book. It would be like skimming through the entire book of Harry Potter.
Oh God.
Which one?
The 7th one.
Oh God.
The 7th one? I mean, Deathly Hallows was actually one of the smallest books in the series. Anyway.
It's still at 847 pages.
Well, I mean, Order of the Phoenix was dummy thick.
Stop saying that.
I can't. Anyway.
I'm gonna just the first couple of pages. Like I'm gonna go only like maybe 10 pages in, and just kind of skim.
So as you, like, skim through the first 10 pages, it seems to be, like, the captain when he was, like, fairly new at captaining. It's just, like, quick notes and jots of, like, how to better, like, service crew, how to get, like, people's attention, and that kind of thing. It's mainly just, like, quick notes that he's written down.
Okay, I shall use this. And then I'm gonna go further to the back and look at the last 10 pages that were written in.
So the last 10 pages, reading through the words, it seems like it's a whole lot of, like, gibberish. Like, it seems as though, like, there's just words that belong in places that they shouldn't. Like, he's talking about apples in the cook, and oranges, and how good they taste, and that kind of thing. It seems like it's gibberish compared to the rest of the book.
Okay.
I mean, origins are amazing, though.
Yeah, I gotta lie. I can't lie. I mean, when you have scurvy and you citrus, but
I'm gonna take
nevertheless,
time
something's
with
out of
this.
place.
I'm gonna take time with this. I'm gonna hide it. I don't have boobs, so I don't know where to hide it. I'm just gonna put it. No, I don't. I'm gonna just carry it out with me. I'm gonna go up and then go to where my chest is, and
Just
put
like
this-
grabbing your arm as you're starting to leave. Please be discreet. I'm pretty sure Jocktastic out there is not going to approve.
if Jocktastic has an issue, you can say it to my face. I will be fine.
Okay, this is not the time for pride. This is the time for intelligence.
This isn't pride. This is anger.
This is not pride.
This is not
It's
pride.
not the time for anger either. It's the time for intelligence.
I am
Take a
being
deep breath.
intelligent. I
Take a deep
don't
breath.
need- I don't
Realize that everyone else is stupid but you. But that means that you have to be the smartest one here. And you must take that upon yourself and act logically.
I think you need to calm. I think you're the one that needs to calm down.
I do,
You're shaking-
but I can
you're
understand
shaking.
that. Can you?
I am calm. This is me calm.
Bullshit, you're screaming on the inside. Alright, you do you.
Alright, Merrick, while all of this, like, turmoil is going on underneath the deck, up top the deck, it seems like the fighting is still going on. There's a few people that are knocked out at this point, though. What are you doing?
Apparently taking a short rest.
I just want to take a short rest, and like I want to be at like far away from the fighting, but not like too far. Just like I said, just want to observe and take a short rest.
It seems like the
meditating
fighting
in the
is, like,
middle of a
everywhere. It's, like, moving throughout, like, the ship. Like, on the top of the deck, it seems like people are, like, running into each other and pushing each other into the ship's walls at every turn.
Okay, can I go up into the crow's nest and take a short rest?
If you wanted to go ahead and climb the crow's nest, yes, you would be able to do that.
I do that.
Okay. So you get up to the top of the crow's nest. You have about 25 minutes before everybody comes up, so we can go ahead and... Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you a short rest for it.
Smart. Smart.
Clever girl.
Using all three? I
No,
think I put it in
two.
my hit dice incorrectly, but... Yeah.
Okay, I feel better now.
Glad to hear it.
Okay, and then are you guys coming back up to the top of the deck?
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, Steven, you were above deck, so I can actually describe this. About 10 minutes into everybody, like, going down the stairs and stuff, you start to see, like, these big bulking figures begin to come up the stairs. They're people that you recognize because you help repair the ship and that kind of stuff. So these are pretty, like, dignified people. You see the person that you know as, like, Rick. He's, like, this... He's the guy that I described earlier, the really big, like, bulky guy that's overbulked. You know that he's extremely strong. You also know that he is very adept with both swords and knives. So
It's
he can
Ripple
hold his
Rick.
own in a fight. As he comes up, you like watch as he stands amongst what seem to be small people compared next to him. And then he shouts out, "We need to take a vote. The first and second mates are dead." And you hear him shout this with like extreme force, and all the fighting kind of just like pauses as everybody like looks to him. There are people that seem to be in like freeze frame with like fists about to hit somebody. They stop midair. And then everybody like calms down, and you start to hear voices amongst each other. A vote, yeah. A vote would work. A vote would work. A vote would work.
Y'all, mother.
And so would Kaya and myself.
By the
be
way, I'm
headed up by
screaming
now?
inside, like
Oh.
internally, screaming at the top of my lungs.
That's what happens when you guys roll 2 nat 1s on charisma checks.
Wait. Look.
In a row, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
That was
we earned
mad.
I mean, I'm just sort of whimpering. Just kind of. I wasn't
I'm
prepared for this. I just wanted to grow some oranges.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. It's fine.
All right, so
It's fine.
would Kaya and I have made it above deck by now to hear this tremendous shout?
I mean, you guys would have been like beginning to like you guys would still be below deck at this point because, like I said, this is about like 15 minutes into everything that was going on downstairs. So Kaya, you would actually still be intimidating the guy that you were intimidating before. While you're intimidating him, you like hear a boom, but you don't really think anything of it. So you just like continue your intimidation, and then Isaac, you're down there like searching through the chests and trying to heal like the dead bodies right now.
Yeah, no, I cannot hear during a attack.
So Merrick, you are currently the only party member observing this.
I mean, I'll just continue to observe. Not much I can do on my own.
Okay. So there's about 8 figures that are with him. So it's him and then 7 others that came up the stairs in their group. And then you hear like Rick shout out, "All right, let's line up and take a vote." So everybody like begins to line up on the boat. There's about 6 other people, and then you, Merrick, and then the 7 people that were with him that are conscious enough to take a vote currently. And then you're up in the crow's nest. He hasn't really noticed you.
I'll see. I'll see what everyone else votes, and then if there's a tiebreaker, I'll like. If there's like a tie, then I'll come down and do the tiebreaker.
Okay, so he right now he kind of like looks at everybody. He's like, "Who believes that they are fit to be captain? Who wants to be candidates?" And he's the only one that has stepped forward so far.
If no one,
I totally put one of you guys out to the bus.
if no one else is stepping forward, I'll like slide down the ladder from the crow's nest.
So you slide down the ladder with like with like ease because you guys have been you guys are attuned to ships at this point. So you were able to like slide down the ladder with like enough ease to make it so there's not too much disruption. And you see everybody still like line up in a straight line, and Rick kind of looks back to you and he's like, "Oh, Merrick, why were you up there?"
Oh, just observing.
Anyways, did you want to step in line with the others and take a vote?
I step in front of the line.
He kind of
Godspeed,
like
Merrick.
smirks and he's
Godspeed.
like, he kind of smirks and he says, "It didn't take you as a leader."
I just shrug and tilt my head.
Alright, and at this point you guys would be finishing up, like, downstairs, and beginning to come up the stairs.
Alright. I'm singing a song on the way up, so everyone knows that I'm on my way up.
Make a performance check.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my thing loaded up.
I believe in you.
Oh.
What the? How am...
Oh, that's a crit, my guy.
Christ.
They definitely know that you're coming.
Fails music.
You know, remember when I
It's
said I
coming, but
was
it's not
screaming
a good thing.
inside? Now I'm screaming on the outside.
Through music.
They definitely know that you're coming up the stairs.
Jeez.
He's playing like Phantom of the Opera theme song. He's just walking up the stairs, just adding to the dread of the situation.
Oh no, I'm.
Well,
just
no, it
playing
wasn't that
bluegrass
bad because it was an
extremely
8,
well.
but, like, it's essentially like it's a poor version of, like, of a shanty. So it's like she's trying to do a shanty on her own without the instruments and without, like, backup singers and that kind of stuff. So it essentially ends up coming out as, like, unreasonable and, like, unattuned, like, singing. So it's just, like, a bunch of, like, pitch changes and things like that that doesn't really make sense without, like, the backup singers for a shanty.
I may have had a thing or two to drink. Let's just go with
So
that.
it's like she made a poor choice of song, essentially. It's not like it's not pleasing to the ear, not because she's bad at singing, but just because, like, there's not other singing with her.
Because like attitude and stuff.
So yeah, it's not like she herself is giving a bad performance. It's just she chose a very poor, like, choice of song.
I mean, the lead was soprano, and you sang alto.
Okay, so you guys come up the stairs, and you guys just see, like, the crew uniform and, like, lined up together in a straight row, with Merrick standing, in front of the crew next to Rick.
Well then, what's happening here? No one.
After getting myself composed, I mean, I feel like I've getting myself composed coming up the stairs. I'm standing next to my ally. I reinforce her question. I mean, yes, indeed. There seems to be some sort of organized vote going on?
He kind of, like, looks back at you, Icarus, and he's like, yeah, there is, thanks to your, sense of unity.
Just sort of winces at that statement.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Merrick, you want to be captain?
I mean, you're my friend. I think you could do it. But are you really suited for the position?
You think I'm not?
No, he didn't say that. He was just asking a question.
I'm just being factual, my man. Making awkward eye glances between Rick and Merrick.
And you know, storyteller just says an arrest. I'm sure as hell not doing it. Oh.
I mean, hands up in the air. I mean, I am not suited for any kind of leadership over here.
I begin walking over, and as soon as I get to where the lineup is, I make it look like I'm about to step forward as well, but I just stand in the line for voting.
Okay.
I just kind of stand off to the side, like not necessarily in the line, but not drawing attention, like I'm stepping forward, but just like I'm sort of separated from the situation.
Okay, so you don't plan on voting?
No, I do not. Not unless it's a very intense situation. No, I do not.
Okay. So you guys watch as, like, Kaya steps in line. It looks like she's about to step forward, but then she kind of, like, second guesses herself and steps back into line to take the vote. And then Rick looks over to you, Merrick, and he's like, so, what makes a mercenary think that he's fit to be captain?
I've been doing this longer than you, so I just think I have more experience.
You might have been on the ship longer than me, but you have not been part of this crew longer than me.
Still,
And as if I remember correctly, you were a greenhorn when you first started here, so I don't think you had very much experience on a ship beforehand either.
I'm a fast learner.
Would I be allowed to, like, say something on his behalf?
You could, but it would create a more tense situation, I guess would be a way to put it. So you could, but it would like weaken his standing, you feel. Because he's essentially being confronted, and having somebody else come in to help like that confrontation would be seen as weak.
Really?
The captain should need someone to back him up that easily, just for the situation.
Well, what if I start like going back for the other guy though? Would it make him look weak?
No, like you're able to like question like each other and that kind of thing. Like you're able to question his position and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I was gonna say the next thing I say is also I think we need someone with a little bit higher than intelligence than yours to be the captain.
Savage.
You know, you can try to be as snippy as you want. It's not going to affect me none. If I recall, you aren't that intelligent yourself.
You may beat me in brute strength, but I have more intelligence and think better on my feet than you do, by far.
But do you have the quality that's needed of a leader? Was he able to calm you down and get you to take a vote? Was he able to do what needs to be done to establish that a vote must be taken? Was he able to unionize this crew?
So conflicted on the inside. It is affecting my outsides.
While all of you were fighting amongst yourselves, he was up in the crow's nest, I imagine taking a nap. Is that really the quality of a leader that you want?
And what do you bring to the table?
Me, I'm willing to do what needs to be done.
Retire.
I know exactly what needs to be done. I know how to establish a sense of unity among the men. I know how to calm them down when need be, and I'm strong enough to hold my position when I'm questioned.
How close am I?
Are you saying that you would like to challenge me, little girl?
No, I'm
I-
not challenging.
Can I get like upset on her behalf? Like that?
How? Just from being on the ship, and how much stronger do I perceive him to be than me? Like, does Merrick think he could take him in a fight?
That is up to... Well, Merrick, you would have seen him, like, carry bundles of, like, lumber, seemingly on his own. Like, he's able to just, like, swing them onto his shoulder, when normally it would take a group of, like, 3 or 4 men to carry it. He's... Like, it's
So
like, do you think that you could take on a bulkier Dwayne The Rock Johnson, is essentially the question.
Well, but like I said, so he hasn't been beaten brute strength.
Alright.
But I've never seen him fight.
No, you would have seen him fight. You know that he's extremely skilled with a sword and a knife. From, like, what you can, like, tell, he's probably the 3rd or 4th strongest person on the ship.
Okay.
After
quick
the captain and the first mates.
Would casting a spell on him like be something that would upset people if they noticed me doing it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, same here. I would
Like-
also
Don't
like to
do
charm him.
spells right now.
How stealthily could we try to charm person him?
No, do not.
I was gonna use suggestion
Don't do it.
and suggest he back down.
Don't do it.
Does suggestion have
mean-
a verbal and somatic component?
It has a verbal and a material component.
Okay, but it doesn't require you to like move your hands or anything like that.
No, I mean the verbal is just basically me making the suggestion.
So you can just whisper it and.
Is it a bard spell?
It's a bard spell, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that would essentially be how it works. So it would essentially be like you just consuming the material and then suggesting to him.
Mm-hmm.
You could if you wanted to. If it becomes known that you interfered in the election, though, in an unfair way, then you would most likely be killed.
See, that's the thing. I want to die, so well, maybe not my character.
That's dark. Demonetized.
I back you in your
I like-
decisions.
Because every ounce of my body is saying, punch this guy straight in his face. Try to resist it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Icarus is very conflicted on whether or not he should just spout out, oh, well, by unity, do you mean killing the first and second mates? So that way, you know, even when one is dying already, just so you could blah, 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 and try to make an argument out of that. But,
So is that what you're doing?
he's conflicted on the inside, has not made a decision to do this, so, you know. No?
I'm gonna step forward just a little bit, not gonna like straight up in his face, but just a little in front of the line. I'm gonna look at him. I don't believe a leader should treat their crew in such a way that angers them. I don't like being called little girl. I've made that clear to everyone that is here. So,
Oh,
Again,
but to
I
me,
ask-
you're little, and you're a girl, so you're a little girl.
I
Well,
ask,
I mean, Shadow, you also know that he killed the two people,
I do. I'm getting to that.
just in case you forgot. I believe in you.
Give me a second. You know, this whole unity thing is kind of BS. Considering the fact that our unity would have been 100% okay. Using what the rules that I was just told about of how everything is supposed to go just thrown out the window when you killed both the first and second mate.
I
Was
I
there
did kill
unity
them.
there?
And he says
There
this
was-
with like he like speaks up and he goes, I did kill them. The first one was weak. He had scurvy, infected with disease. We don't need him as a leader. The second one, obviously I killed him. He was not strong. He was not fit to be a leader. He was chosen merely due to his eldership on the crew. For no
You're
other
equating-
reason.
You're equating strength with leadership.
A leader has to be strong.
Strong-willed.
Eldership on a crew implies, like, experience, Icarus shouts. I mean, honestly, if he was an elder of the crew, doesn't that mean he knew what he was doing? He had leadership skills enough to work himself up the ranks?
But did he have the leadership to stop this mutiny? Did he have the leadership to stop all of us from fighting each other? No, he did not.
Maybe
He
would
went
have
down
had
below the
chance
deck to prevent
had
each other,
you- He
to protect
He was
himself.
trying to save a life. He was down there tending to the first mate, as someone should be, when the mutiny broke out. Maybe if he would have had the chance to unite all of us, if you hadn't taken his life from him.
But he didn't even try. He didn't come up here when he
What do
heard
you
the
mean by
screaming and
that?
the shouts. He didn't try to stop this mutiny from happening. He did not
How
possess
are
the
we
qualities that
supposed
were
to believe
needed of a
you?
leader.
How are we supposed to believe you? We didn't murder him. You did. Maybe he was on his way up the stairs, frantically trying to calm the crew on his way up, and yet you decide to strike him down. Simply because you want his state of power.
Sure, let's ask some people. Did anybody see the second mate at all trying to come up the stairs? Anyway. The 7 people that were with him shout out no, and then 3 of the others shout out no as well. You're arguing over who's most fit to be a leader. But honestly, Merrick, unless you can show that you have leadership skills like I do, then I'm afraid this is lost. I did what needed to be done to establish unity among the crew. That's
This
it.
isn't unity.
Are you
I
sure?
thought that-
Because it seems like everybody's standing in line. Except for you 4.
Exactly why it isn't. I start making my way down to where my little spot is.
I honestly don't believe that this is truly unity either. This seems just like a forced democratic election meant to seem like you are giving the crew a choice to elect you in a position of power. However, you are just frightening and intimidating them down to a point where they feel like they have no other choice. Surely there are others here who have the ability to lead, yet they do not want to go against you and your merry band of 7 men that just back you up with everything that you say. Merrick might be a good choice. However, even though he is the only candidate to step forward, you continue to dismiss him as if he is nothing. I mean, technically, considering Merrick is the only other candidate other than you, that means you do have competition, yes?
Well, Icarus, you're welcome to step forward as well. If you'd like.
You know what? All right, I'm done. Yes, I will step forward. If it means that this crew can truly be unified, under the pretense that we all can be together unified. Not, oh, I'm going to kill 2 very important people to this ship, so that way, when the ship is in ruins, I can play hero and try to save them all. I mean, honestly, yes, I would rather be captain with my first mate, second mate still alive, than let you be captain and rule in tyranny.
Sure.
At least the captain beforehand had our respect.
Sure, step forward.
I'm gonna
I
yell
do.
as I'm walking
I'm
down.
so voting for Icarus now, by the way.
I'm gonna yell as I'm walking down. It was also Icarus's idea to do the whole unity thing. Just saying.
And you took my idea of unity, said it straight to my face, and decided to kill the first mate. With my wonderful words, you perverted and twisted them, taking it into a way that only your little puny mind could understand, and decided that, oh, well, since he is currently bedridden, and since I obviously have no sense of honor, let me just slit his throat instead of waiting for him to get better and be a full sense of mind. That way he can contrive and possibly vote. Maybe he didn't want to be the captain. Maybe he would have understood your plight. Now I guess we'll never know.
Well, at this point, let's just take the vote. He says this with, like, a confidence. So, who wants to see Icarus as captain?
Can I make
Am
a
I allowed to
statement
vote?
to the...
Shout aye.
Am I allowed to vote?
You are a candidate, so you cannot.
Oh, I raised my hand, by the way.
And then 2 other crew members raise their hand. Are there any other votes for Icarus, aside from these 3? Aye, on to the second candidate, Merrick. Who wants Merrick as captain? Shout aye.
Am I allowed to vote in this situation?
No, because you are a candidate.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
And then, like, 2 of the other 6 that were lined up that aren't part of his band shout out, "I." And he goes, "And who wants me as captain?" And with that, the 9 remaining people that have yet to vote shout, "I." "Alright, it's settled."
I'm actually plotting his death.
Same.
Contemplating life decisions. Well then, Captain. What be it then?
Well, let's get these unconscious ones down below. Clean out the bodies, line them up on the deck so we can send them off proper.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I'm gonna be sitting in my little hammock, reading through as much of the last 10 pages. That was just complete gibberish, right?
The last 10 pages, there were just, like, words and places that they weren't supposed to be and that kind of stuff. So it like, reads as gibberish when you, like, read through it.
Well, I would just be doing as I'm told, as I'm not really a high-ranking member, and I don't know what to do at this point, honestly, so just following orders.
I want to try to see if I can make sense of the gibberish. Just like taking time to see if I can make sense of it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an intelligence check, just straight intelligence.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
So
that's a
reading
fat
through
hat.
it seems like he's just like, it seems like the captain went crazy when he was writing this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay then. I'm gonna climb down, go into my chest that also has a false bottom, and I'm gonna put it in there, the book in there,
Sure.
and then I'm gonna close it and then get back in my hammock and meditate for the next 30 minutes and take a short rest because I need one.
Actually, are we gonna be able to take a long rest soon so we can restore our spell slots?
You guys would be able to
This
take a
happens
long
to
rest
rule.
now if you wanted to.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yes, please.
So you guys carry on throughout
I'm
the
going
day, doing the various duties that you need to. Icarus, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, instead of taking a long rest, just try to, even though because of, my outbursts and whatever, I would try to prove my loyalty at just sort of accepting this. So, doing whatever I can that could be seen as, oh, well, he's not a traitorous scumbag. He's actually, treating this guy as a captain. Kind of. Just sort of try to gain the respect of our new captain, quote unquote.
So yeah, you guys go about the daily activities, and then night comes around, and you guys are all able to take a long rest. And then morning rolls around, and everybody seems to be going about their normal duties. The bodies that were lined up were able to be sent off properly the previous night.
Question: how long until this eye socket heals?
It was estimated to be around 2 weeks for it to finish healing.
Well, since the old captain said that I couldn't have it healed, I'm gonna go to Icarus and go, "Hey, bud, you want to heal this for me?"
Oh, I would love nothing more than a little bit of healing in all this world.
Go for it.
And then Buzzinga.
So he creates like this ball of light, and he creates it on the tip of his finger, and as he like moves his finger closer to the eye, the ball of light leaves his finger and it fills your eye sockets, and it kind of like disperses in an explosion, and heals the inside of your eye socket.
Woo! I'm gonna take the little golden snitch. Now I want to still practice, and I'm gonna put it back in my pocket and put the eye patch on and go, thanks.
Naturally. The best I can do at times like this.
That's all we could ever ask of you, bud.
Then Merrick and
what should I do with
Storyteller,
just
what are you
flowers
two
and
doing?
healing?
Whatever my duties are. Just
So just going about your daily duties, nothing else?
Yeah.
Okay. And Storyteller, are you doing anything, or are you just going about your duties as well?
I'm just kind of going about my duties at the moment.
Okay, throughout the day, he just, like, issues commands to, like, do certain things. Everything gets done with relative, like, speed, similar to how it would be done, if the first or second mate were to have taken charge. It seems like everybody's content with their decision to elect him as captain.
I do oh yeah, okay, so I do want to take 2 hours each day, 1 hour to practice precision without my left eye, and then an hour to focus on this golden snitch and try to get this thing to fly up.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check.
Please, for the love of all that is holy.
Oh.
So it seems like you still haven't gotten a hang of your eye. The darts that you're throwing are just, like, missing the dartboard completely at this point. And then go ahead and make a Arcana check.
Oh, this is gonna go great. Oh, that actually went okay.
Yeah, good
Not
job.
bad.
So as you're, like, looking at the snitch, you, like, notice that, like, there are, like, runes inscribed on the gold itself. You aren't able to make out what the runes are, just due to the fact that you've never gone to college or anything like that for magic. But you notice that there are just, like, little symbols engraved in the gold, and it seems like the gold plates were it seems like there were plates put together rather than the snitch itself just being a solid ball of gold.
Can I try and move the plates?
They seem like it seems like it's just, like, plates that you would see on, like, a bridge, for example, so not necessarily movable. It's more there for, like, structure, to say.
Got it. I'm gonna go to which spellcaster would be able to help.
The only spellcasters on this ship are ones that are meant for repair, and then Storyteller and Icarus.
I know those are the two that I'm trying to think of which one to go to first. I already went to Icarus today. I'll go to Storyteller. And I'll go, hey, can you make any sense of these runes?
Storyteller, so...
Yes. Yeah, I can look at them.
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana
What do
check
you want
for
me
me.
Yes. Also, I'm like passing out my seat. I'm like so tired right now. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I can't roll today.
So
that's
you're
good.
like looking at the runes, and you're just like, well, I don't really get them either. It's not like I went to school for magic. It just kind of came to me through my songs.
It's like I started laughing at this goblin one day, and well, he exploded.
I get that joke. I go, alright, let me go find Icarus again. And I find Icarus again.
Okay.
And I go, there are runes
Quirky.
on this thing. Can you make any sense of them? Please.
I mean, that's surely more interesting than trying to grow the third dead seed from my hand today. Yeah, sure.
What? Just here. Take the eye. Don't drop it.
Drops miscellaneous plant
No.
matter. Anyway, yes, taking the eye. Do an Arcana check.
Yep.
All right, that's something.
Are you proficient in Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the runes on the eye, you're able to, like, recognize a few of them. The other ones seem to be, like, very small, so you kind of, like, take out a magnifying glass and look at those ones, too. You're only able to recognize about 5 or 6 different symbols on the eye. The other, like, I would say 7 to 8 are unknown.
All right, what do these say?
The symbols that you recognize, they seem like they're typically used in, like, spells of binding. There's a rune meant for flying, but it seems as though it's faded compared to the other runes. So it seems like it's, like, smudged out, sort of. And then the other runes are just, like, typical arcane runes, used for, like, mana imbuing and that kind of thing.
All right. I am proficient in calligraphy. So is there any way that I could try to see with my tools or whatnot, like, if I could re-etch in them or, like, see where they were based on how the writing was put in?
So I'd probably explain that in a bad way. It's not, like, faded as in, like, the rune is messed up. It's faded as in, like, it's, it looks dark compared to the other runes. As though, like, it's not active.
Okay. So, all right. Well, then I explain this. Okay. It seems like the specific part that you want, the only part that would make this thing useful, the flying bit, is actually inactive at this point in time. So, I don't know what to tell you.
And with your, like, history of arcane knowledge, you would know that typically, like, the only time a rune doesn't activate on a magic item would be when the user doesn't have enough mana to make it active.
Oh, come on.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how well versed you are in Arcana or magic in general or whatnot, but it just seems like you don't have enough to give, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't have enough stamina left. Maybe you should take a break for a little while. I mean, I know you've been trying this for a long time. It might work if you just, are well rested and capable.
I take the eye and go, sleep is for the weak. And I walk away. Slightly upset.
I know, but
I
it's also
resemble that remark.
important.
Thank you, though. I go,
I try.
yeah, no.
Actually, speaking of that, I think I'm going to need to lie down for a little bit because I'm way too tired at work. Sorry about that.
What's that?
I'm probably going to have to go lie down for a little bit before work, so I have a little bit of a nap in. If you want, I can let you take control of Storyteller.
That's fine.
I'm about to pass out over here.
Yeah, we were only planning on having, like, probably an hour left of RP. It was mainly going to be going back to Sierra Cove and then seeing what you guys wanted to do from there. If you guys wanted to continue role-playing for another hour, we can do that, or we can just end the session for casts. It's up to you guys.
Either way.
I mean, I like role playing. It's fun. It seems like we don't do it too often. I missed you guys.
It's just that I manage an Overwatch team, and our scrims ran a little late last night, so I didn't get to bed as early as I wanted to. So
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
You can watch the VOD on Twitch, or you can watch it on YouTube, to see what else happened in the session.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. That'll be an excellent way for me to catch up.
Alright, see ya, Cass.
See ya.
Have a good day, Cass.
Bye.
Oh, they already left.
Oh, bye.
Oh. I feel that.
So,
And
The
then there
book.
were 3.
I'm gonna take the book to Merrick. Don't ask why. It's probably a stupid idea. I'm gonna do it
Does
anyways.
Rick have like access to the captain's quarters?
Oh, he does not. We both have the keys. I am not giving up the key. And I'm not telling him that I have one. Nor am I telling him
Neither
that I
am
have
I,
his book.
But Amaya, has he gotten into the captain's quarters so far?
Like, unless you guys were observing him, like, last night, I would say that
Yes.
you guys aren't sure.
I was definitely observing. I'm like
So,
watching everybody. I don't trust anyone anymore.
yeah, he slept in the captain's quarters last night, if you're observing him.
Okay.
Well then. What if we were to constantly lock the captain's quarters, whenever he left it unlocked?
I'm sure
And then after about 45 years, he'll be slowly driven into madness. Ingenious plan. Great job, Isaac. All right. Nonetheless, what now?
I'm gonna take the book to jeez.
Merrick?
Yeah, my brain just went blank. I'm taking the book to Merrick. Yo, homeboy.
What's up?
Good? I show him the last 10 pages and I go, "Can you make any sense of this?"
Looks like gibberish to me, but I'll take a closer look.
Please do.
Make a straight intelligence check for me. Yeah, it looks like it's just gibberish. Like, he's just talking. The captain seems crazy to you.
We already did.
But you guys know that he was a fairly sane man, but it seems like in his journal, he just, like, wrote down, like, just random shit that he thought of throughout the day.
So, like my diary.
At least in these last 10 pages,
Got
it
it.
seems like that.
I'm gonna go back 10 more pages and read those.
Those ones also seem like it's mainly gibberish.
Jeez.
So the only thing I can think of is it's either like gibberish or some kind of special code that only he knows about.
I want to say it's a special code because that guy was way too sane and knew what he was doing. I'm suspicious, but then again, it might just be me being paranoid constantly, no matter what. Yeah, I'm just gonna like continuously like try to look through, see if I can find little clues. Everything that I can do to try to make sense of this, I am going to try to do it for the next who the hell knows how long.
So at this point in time, is it right if I come in and check in on Kaya?
Yeah, you could.
All right, so I come in and I assume I see that she has the book out, yeah?
Uh-huh.
All right. How's the book going? Anything useful?
This dude knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Figure what out?
Don't know yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. Whatever it is.
All right. Is it okay if I take a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Wow, this is honestly the most confusing way I've ever had anyone word a piece of literature. Needless to say, it's interesting. Not sure I'd hire him as an editor, though. Could I see if I could derive anything from it?
Go ahead and make a straight intelligence check.
Oh, wonderful.
So looking at the book, you're able to tell that it's definitely code.
Finally.
You're able to distinguish that it's definitely code. It's not a code that you are familiar with, though.
All right, so, okay, like, no cap on jaw with you. This is definitely some code. You ain't crazy, he ain't crazy. We're all good in the hood. But, bad news, don't know what the fuck he means. I don't know what this is. I mean, Amaya, do you think, with my, like, knowledge of calligraphy, do you think I'd be able to, like, see if it was any, like, particular, like, wood? Like, it was a wood trick kind of thing? Or would
So
it just be a code that, like...
You notice a pattern in the words, which is how you were able to distinguish that it was a code. Like, you realize that he uses certain words where they don't belong. Like, he'll say orange in the middle of talking about a bed and that kind of thing. So he'll just, like, mention random, like, words in places where they seem completely out of place. And you notice the pattern of the words are being used in, like, different areas. Like, you'll see orange in the bed, like orange up in the crow's nest, orange on this captain's wheel, and that kind of thing. Like, you just see, like, the words popping up in, like, several places, and that's how you know that it's code.
In the next 3 years, we will be able to figure this out.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, besides the correlation with, like, all of these different random-ass things being brought into the situations that don't make sense for them, I would assume, you know, they're all code words for something. So, orange, I don't know, like, it could be anything from, like, cowardice to possible treachery, or maybe someone was doing well. I just don't know what it could mean. I don't have a key to it. And all of the people that would know are dead.
Okay. As much as I want to keep this to us, it seems like it's not going to work out with us keeping this to us.
Well, I mean, but what happens if we reveal this to someone else?
That's why I'm bringing some backup, meaning you and Merrick. So
Where are we going now?
come on, I'm gonna look for the captain, our new captain.
Oh God, not that guy.
You know I don't trust. You know I don't trust him, right?
Yeah,
You know I don't like him, right?
yeah.
He used my words to kill people.
I want to cut his wiener off and shove it up his rectum. I'm gonna go find the captain.
Rick without a dick. Now that's a nickname.
So you find him fairly easily. He's just going about the ship, like, commanding people to do, like, their various tasks that they're assigned.
Just captain, you know. So how do you want to go about this, Kaya?
Just let me talk. I'm gonna go, sup, Cap? Is it cool if we, talk to you about something?
Well, what is it that you wanted to talk about? I'm fairly busy.
Yeah, it's kind of important. It has to do with the recent attacks.
This man has 15 different accents, by the way. I can't figure out which one I've been using, so... He just gets 20 of them. That's the way it works.
I see you are a man of culture as well. I mean, it's just me, but evil.
The recent attacks, yes. I was informed that you interrogated one of, well, the prisoner that we have that's still alive. I've since disposed of him. His bodies are with the sharks now, but what is it that you wanted to speak to me about?
This would be much better in private, but... So, the first attack, they stole something very important that, well, pretty much every person on the ship might want. So, choosing words carefully is difficult. It was a book to a very specific artifact that would be really fucking cool if we got it. Something, you know, called, oh gosh, I don't want to tell him, but I gotta tell him. It's called the Fountain of Youth.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's been the goal of our crew since we began.
Mm-hmm. So, Captain, how are we gonna get it?
Well, first, we obviously need to get the book back. The problem is we don't know who this man is. And as far as I know, the captain didn't leave any information for us leading to who this man might be.
The only information we could have possibly gotten was from the prisoner, which has since been discovered.
He had a arcane, what we think was an arcane tattoo that was keeping him from talking. Enough.
I recognize the
Never-
mark. I've seen it on a sailor once before in my life.
You know, stuff like that could probably be dispelled, and we could have gotten that info.
Well, it's not a mark that can be dispelled. It literally ties him to the entity that he made a pact with.
What happens if you cut it off?
Let's just say that those flames aren't for show.
Well, shit. Alright, well. Nonetheless,
Well-
we could have tried something. We could have possibly converted him. I just feel like that was a lot of information that we could have had. But anyway, back to you, Colin.
So, honestly, this is a conversation that needs to be said in private. So I'm gonna wait until you're not as busy. I'm gonna finish my duties, and let me know when you're free.
I can make time now.
Cool.
Gerald, take over the crew. I have something that I need to deal with. Aye, Captain. And then he walks over to the captain's quarters.
I tell both Icarus and Merrick to stay outside. And I go into the captain's quarters and close the door behind me.
I ain't making any more enemies today. So, I'll just... Thank God.
So you guys walk into the captain's quarters. Merrick, are you with him?
What? No, she told us to stay outside.
Oh, you're going
Yeah,
with him
just
alone?
put it there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You walk into the captain's quarters. You two are alone with the book.
I place the book on the table in front of me. I assume there's a table.
Yeah, there's like a charting table in the captain's quarters.
I place it on the table. Flip to the pages where we could tell there was all of the coding at, and I say he had some information in here. Can't figure out what it means though.
Well, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'll let you know if I figure out anything about it. With that, he takes the book and puts it in his cupboard. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to me about?
No.
Alright, thank you, Kaya. I'll let you know if I find out anything. You're dismissed.
I walk out. I look at both Icarus and Merrick.
So, how'd it go? Anything?
Take a deep breath and go finish my duties without saying anything else.
Okay.
Wow.
I look at Icarus and just shrug.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Is there anyone on the ship who would be capable of, knowing metals, like blacksmithing or like any like sort of magical weaponry? Anyone that would have any sort of knowledge about that? Because I still want to know more about the sword and if I can fix the violent cracks that are now running through it.
I mean, there's like a guy that does general repairs on weapons, but he doesn't like forge any. And the only people that really, like, have any magical abilities, I guess I would say, and knowledge would be you, Storyteller, and then the people that use Mending on the ship down below.
Right. I mean, I have mending. Could I do that on my sword?
You were asking about who would have knowledge on the sword, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, a different question. Would mending be
Using,
applicable to my sword?
I mean, you technically could be able to. Just know that using magic on enchanted items doesn't always go that well.
But you've told me multiple times, not you specifically. They've told me multiple times, all of these various shopkeepers, that it was never meant to be magical. But they never said it wasn't magical. But they just said they didn't think it was magical.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go to the see, very, very clever, very stressful. Anyway, all right. So I guess I'll go to the one person who might know anything about weapon repair and just ask him to take a look at it. But be fucking careful. Family heirloom.
He takes a look at the weapon and he sees the crack along the spine of the weapon. He goes, I can reforge it for you if you'd like, but I don't believe that there's anything I can do about this crack. It's too long, too deep.
What do you mean by reforge? You mean just like cast it aside?
I mean, like, I can heat up the metal and, like, bang it until it's back into the correct shape, I guess. If the blade breaks out, then you'll have to take it to a blacksmith and get it melted down.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, but I don't think I could take it right now.
Yeah, no problem. And then he, like, turns around and goes back to scrubbing the deck that he was scrubbing.
Alright. Well then, could I use Detect Magic on it?
Sure.
I mean, why not, right? But, alright.
So looking at the sword, it doesn't give off any magical glow.
Well, is the sword made of lead? Is there any lead on it? It's not lead to my knowledge, but is there any way to find out if it's covered in lead?
You could, like, cut the blade in half and then see the different, like, metals that are on the blade, but I would think that that would defeat the purpose of what you want to do.
Yeah, I know.
And then you can check, like,
convoluted ways.
that you
Check,
would
like,
know
what?
of, no. Not that you would have knowledge of.
Well, I mean, if someone who, like, the guy who was reforging weapons, if he would know what the metals were if he saw them, wouldn't he?
It depends on, like, you didn't really ask him what material the sword was made out of, so if you wanted to go back and ask him, you can, but from, like, general knowledge, it's usually pretty common sense that lead is, it melts too easily, and it's too soft to be used for forging blades. It's usually used in, like, ornate things, such as, like, hilts and that kind of thing. It's mainly used as, like, an ornate detail.
Right. Well, I guess I'll go back and ask him to tell me anything he can about it.
So you're taking the sword back to him?
Yep.
I already took a look at this about, what was it, not even 5 minutes ago. What do you want now?
I am very absent-minded, so for that I give you my apologies. What can you tell me about this sword? Like, what can you see that it is made of? You know, what is... I don't know. Anything that could be possibly significant that you noticed from your knowledge.
Well, from what I saw, it's just made out of iron. Looking at the hilt of the sword, it seems like it's made out of bronze, and, looking at this, black tracing here, I'm not quite sure what material that is.
Black tracing? What do you mean black tracing?
Well, the no details on the hilts, the black lines that run throughout the hilt. I'm really not sure what material that is. There's not enough
Alright,
of it
well,
for me to
thank
be
you
able to
very much.
tell.
I mean, that's fair. Thank you very much. I'll try not to bother you again. Proceed to do whatever, and then try to investigate these black lines. This is new.
Sure. Go ahead. Well, do you have any knowledge of blacksmithing at all?
No, none whatsoever. That's why I'm so clueless.
So you're like just looking at these black lions. They seem like they're fairly small. For some of them you even have to use like a magnifying glass to be able to see the lines as they go throughout the hilt of the blade. Um, they just seem like they're black lines. You can't really make out anything else about it.
And, well, alright. Well, I guess that kind of concludes this. He's the only person that would have known anything about the black lines, say. Yeah. Um, I don't have anything else to do.
Okay. Merrick, were you doing anything, or were you still just going about your duties?
Yeah. Nothing much to do really, except for, you know, anytime I see the captain, I just want to keep an eye on him, and because I don't trust him, and yeah, I want to look for anything shady.
Sure. Every time the captain walks by you, you don't notice anything like shady about him. He seems like he's just going about his work, giving orders to people. And then Kaya, what were you doing? Kaya,
Alright.
Sleeping. She's sleeping.
did she actually fall asleep?
Wait, who me? No.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, I didn't fall
We were
asleep.
worried.
I literally put on push to talk so I can go upstairs and make coffee.
Oh, okay.
What did I just miss?
I asked if there was anything that you were doing.
Just practicing getting better with one eye, so that if I have to, I can just use my one eye.
Okay.
And
Same thing. Dexterity check, and then
Mhm.
Arcana.
Yep.
I believe in you. Ooh, spicy.
Okay, so
Spicy
you made
meatballs.
some pretty like serious progress with your eye today. You were able to hit the bullseye many more times than you were able to the previous day.
That made me so happy, but now the one thing that I am bad at. Oh gosh.
It's not bad.
So looking at the eye, you aren't really able to gather more information about the eye. Trying to use it though, it seems like you can feel like it buzz as you concentrate on it. But it doesn't seem to be moving at all. It just seems like there's vibrations moving throughout the metal.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna sit in my hammock and I'm gonna meditate on just the eye for a little bit.
Sure.
For like the next 30 minutes. Like trying to attune to it basically.
Sure. So you spend that time, just focusing on the eye and just pushing everything that you have into it. You start to like sweat with how much work you're putting into it. And then you feel the wings flutter slightly. And then, you kind of like let out a sigh as you break your concentration.
Okay.
But you felt the wings move just a little bit.
Okay. So, it's possible. I can do this. I am now tired. Okay. I forgot to take notes. I'm gonna. Alright, yeah, no. I can't really do anything else but, like, just train, practice. I do want to try to hit Merrick a couple times with just the one eye.
You're
Like sparring match.
Sure, yeah, like a sparring match.
do you guys want to do actual rules for this sparring match, or do you guys just want to... Like, did you guys want this to be an actual spar?
I mean, we have yet to fight before.
Don't see why not.
Sure.
Okay,
I'm up for it.
no weapons, obviously.
Right.
Fair.
It doesn't really matter, because Kai is a monk, so...
He kind of can't take the weapons. They're attached to my body.
Okay, roll initiative for me.
Woo. Okay, make sure I have. Oh God.
Well now.
Lol?
Just because I rolled a 1, you are so lucky.
Alright, so Merrick, you are going first. Does a 13 hit you?
Nope, that just misses.
So Merrick, attempts to come in and swing at you with a fist as he, gets the jump on you at the beginning of the sparring match. You're able to, dodge it, as he brings it in.
Going to attack.
Does a 16 hit you, Merrick? Does a 16 hit you?
So my AC is 16 because I'm not dual wielding. Because when I'm dual wielding, my AC is 17.
Oh, okay. So if it's 16, then Ty goes to defender. So
Okay.
you're able to dodge the strike or block it, whichever one you'd prefer to do.
Yeah,
Then
I'll
as
just smack her. Smack
Wait.
her hand away.
Oh. Okay. As a bonus action, then I'm going to do. Where is it? I know I can do this. Spend a key and do patient defense. And then that's the end of my turn. So your next attack on me has disadvantage.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It was 12 anyway.
Okay. Mother of. Okay.
So yeah, Kaya misses her strike on you as well.
We're just missing each other. This probably looks
Oh.
extremely pathetic. I
Well,
don't-
you know that fists aren't my specialty.
Yeah, but they're my specialty. This was frustrating.
We'll have you guys
but-
spar until first strike.
Okay. I feel like. Oh, I can make an unarmed strike with as a bonus action. Yay! I knew it. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, no. Wait, the 8th? No, that's a 5. 12 misses too. I'm gonna.
Wait, so whose turn is it now?
Still mine. I'm gonna use bonus action to try again. Nope. That's 7. That was your turn. Nope.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, you guys! If this was like an actual combat, you guys would be fucked.
I only have a +3 to strength.
You
but,
realize
you
during
know.
this entire session, we have been fucked. Like,
rolled so many ones
we've had
this
a
fucking
series
session.
of very low rolls.
But I just rolled a 23.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll hit.
After what, like 5 failures?
Shut up. I'm proud of this one.
So it seems like it's almost like it's extremely fast as you guys exchange blows, block blows, dodge them over and over and over again. And then Kaya finally is able to bring her fist in as she slams it into your ribs, Merrick.
Final 5. Oh, that's actually no, that's not that good. That's just I rolled it.
Just,
Yeah.
just clap gleefully in the background.
What?
Just clap gleefully. I just clap gleefully.
Oh,
in the
okay.
background. I'm just staring at you fighting. It's funny.
Seems like you still need some more practice, Kaya.
But who got the first hit?
Normally you would, be better with fists than I would.
I feel like I should have been rolling everything with disadvantage because I had the one eye. Now I'm saying it, which means I probably missed. Because if I did have to roll disadvantage, it'd be a 15. Please tell me I didn't have to roll disadvantage.
You didn't. No, I would have told you if you did.
Okay. Cool. Alright. Yeah, no. I'm, for the most part, done. Thanks, Merrick. Sorry about your face.
Ribs, actually.
And so,
Yeah, you punched him in the ribs, not his face.
I know.
I give an eyebrow to the face comment.
And I,
Her point exactly.
yeah, and I go back to doing my duties. I know exactly that I know I hit him in the chest or something. I know. No, that comment still stays.
Hey, Merrick, buddy, old pal, you want me to throw some magic at that little rib damage you got going on? Or?
I mean, it's no trouble.
It's just a bruise.
Who needs bruises? We're pirates. Merry Christmas. Well, that's a perfect number.
Yeah.
I guess.
Is there any sort of growing I could try to do on this
Any
ship?
sort of what?
Anything I could grow? Is there any soil or anything I could try to grow things out of?
Not unless you purchased it and brought it on the ship yourself, which I don't believe you did.
No, I did not. The only thing I brought was like little bags of sand for a spell.
So yeah, no, there's not.
Pity. Man,
Mm.
should have bought some dirt.
I'm going to go to my chest when no one else is looking. Because I have yet to put them back on, and no one has said anything about it. There's a reason why I wear the monk wraps. I'm gonna go back into my false bottom, grab my extra. Well, it's not in the false bottom. I'm gonna grab my extra thing of monk wraps, grab my hands quickly in the false bottom, grab a small leather-bound journal, and just kind of sit in my hammock and just read through it.
Your journal or one of the ones that Icarus possesses?
Technically it's my journal.
Okay.
And then, how is the ship doing on the cartography section? Like, how are we doing maps wise?
Maps wise, with the ones that you gathered, like you guys are able to like reestablish the maps that were like destroyed. The map that was on the table was just a general map with ship paths. You guys just pretty much needed to take out another new map and then draw the ship paths on it.
All right. And is there any way to determine where we're going?
Sorry, I was yawning. Yeah, so you guys are on your way back to Sierra Cove right now. The captain would have told everybody that that's where you guys were going back to.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right.
Or the
Any
Gallows, my bad, not Sierra
investigating
Cove.
Right. Any investigating I can do on our new captain? I mean, besides ever so nonchalantly seeing him around.
Make a stealth check. Because you want to, like, follow him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
What is that? Which button?
Stealth?
Oh, stealth. Sorry, I thought you said stealth. Right, yeah. Language barriers. Oh, that's spicy.
So yeah, you're able to, like, follow around, like, behind him without detection. Oh, Shadow, did you just refollow?
Yes.
Oh, well, thanks.
I went to look at the chat and see what was going on, but you know.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Mainly people just lurk, so.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, so you're able to, like, follow him around. It doesn't seem like he does anything suspicious. It seems like he's just going about his duties as captain.
Well, damn. Maybe this guy is a good captain after all.
You know, a good questioning doesn't hurt. So long as
Right,
it's
but he's the
slightly
captain. You're not going to get away with it.
Well, so far we have.
Is there any sort of, like, I don't know. What is the kind way to put this? Kissing ass I could do so the captain doesn't absolutely hate me.
I mean, I guess you could, yeah, if you wanted to, like, kiss his ass, that would be okay.
Not literally, goddamn. But try to play in his favor so that he sees me favorably.
Yeah, so
That is
you
what I
just
would
kind of,
like to
like, do everything that he says to, without question. And that alone is enough to, like, make him respect you.
Alright. Well. Anyone else?
He doesn't seem to harbor anger or disrespect towards anybody on the ship.
Well, damn, maybe I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the murdering bit. That's not acceptable.
For pirates, murdering is kind of... It comes with the job.
Still stupid.
It's okay. You're still a little bean.
Yeah.
Wait, are you taller
Anyway.
than me?
Icarus is rather. Icarus is on the tall side of things. Yeah, he's 6 foot. Oh,
Man.
190.
You know what?
Depends on which system you use.
You know what? I'm tired of being the shortest person, no matter what. I'm the shortest person, even in D&D. I hate it. Bad.
So, Merrick, are you doing anything?
That would be a negative.
Is anybody else doing anything on the journey back to the gallows?
Nope.
I mean, besides focusing on, just like my skills, other than that, not really trying to focus on, growing things out of what little we have. Just sort of trying to attune. Just sort of trying to, like, focus on whatever nature is left on this boat. Just, holding an orange and, just enjoying the smell of citrus it brings to the room. Or, just, like, trying to grow a little flower out of, a seed that is just, from a leftover food or whatever. I don't know.
So you guys
Just
actually
trying
aren't in
to-
possession of the book anymore. The captain has been in possession
Yeah,
of
I
the
know.
book.
I just want to grow stuff. Okay.
Are you, like, trying to grow by, like, magical means, or?
Both. I want to try to, like, work on, like, my gardening and just overall, dealing with plant matter better, as well as, like, I suppose you could throw in the druid craft with that, being able to make, seeds bloom instantly and whatnot. But in, like, just having plant life aboard the ship would make Icarus, like, dramatically happier. So it's just trying to focus on trying to bring that together, trying to keep, like, a small plant alive, trying to, grow an orange tree out of the middle of the boat. Just anything.
Make a... Yeah, go ahead and make a nature check for me.
A nature check.
Yeah.
Nature.
So yeah, with that roll, I would say that, like, you're able to find, like, a seed amongst the fruits that are being, or, like, the vegetables that are being used by the cook. You take one of those seeds and you plant it in a small pot of, like, soil that you brought on board with you. You imbue, like, the soil with a bit of your mana, focusing and concentrating on it, and you watch as a small sprout begins to rise from the soil.
Yay! I did it good. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of useless right now because the captain seems to be in good standing with the crew, and according to my observations and observations of others, he has the book, so we can't really do any more investigation on that. Besides, we don't know much anyway. The eye seems to be, inactive, but also linked to Kaya's mana, and anything I could help you with, or anything I could be of service to assist anyone with.
Sure. I'm just doing my usual routine every day of trying to get this eye to work and practicing just using my right eye. Actually, I
Could
do
we
want
have
you
a
to.
magical study session?
Sure, just sit here and make sure I don't pass out. I want to try something.
All right.
I'm gonna do the focus thing again, but this time I want to try to try to put my key points into it, if that makes any sense.
And then any sort of reinforcement I can give to this, I would also like to.
So I would say, sure, go ahead. Go ahead and try.
Okay.
So make an Arcana check with advantage because Icarus is helping. Okay.
18.
Ooh, spicy.
So you pretty much like force your key into it. Essentially, like the key is essentially like the force of your spirit, I guess. So you kind of like force that in with your mana. You watch as like the snitch kind of like it pops up and then pops back down. So it's almost as though like it jumped. So it jumps up and then it lands back in your hand.
You saw that? You saw that, right? You saw it. You saw it.
Just a little squeal of excitement. We're doing it! I
Okay.
believed in you from the second you violently tried to steal that thing and then decided to do a backflip to catch it. I knew you were special.
I mean, special in the head would be right, but Okay.
No, hey, fam, demonetization.
All right. So at this point, you guys hear people from above the deck shouting at each other. We're here! The gallows is near!
Woo! I'm not
Finally,
allowed to go
some,
in to the gallows. And bye.
As you all,
I mean-
go above the deck of the ship, you guys are passing the coral reefs. You guys just entered the shallow water, where it's only about 40 feet deep, with the coral reefs below you and the dragon heads posted on pikes, signifying the entrance of the no fighting zone. After about 40 more minutes, you guys are starting to get within viewing of the docks themselves. You guys can see tiny dots that signify that there are ships at the docks. As you guys get closer and closer, You guys notice one ship in particular at the docks. It's ebony black with arcane sails. And as you get closer and
Oh.
closer, as you inspect it, it's the same ship that teleported itself next to you.
Those.
And with that, we are going to end today's session.
No!
Well, I mean,
Yes,
I-
I'm tired, but... Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm about to raid these bitches.
Oh, boy.
oh dear.
They are within the protected area of the city, by the way. So, because they're at the docks. So,
Yeah,
Mm,
being a little spicy.
oh,
Well, I mean, maybe once you get, once you get that eye fully functioning, we can do some passive aggressive
There's
spy
no-
work.
Well, there's no combat, so we can just. No, they can't attack us, we can't attack them, but there's nothing saying we can't steal the book back.
Also, there's nothing saying we can't just forcibly board the ship and see what they have to do with it.
first of
And
all,
wait,
probably-
I mean, like when you threw the eye up in the air back when we were first in the original city, and it hit the ground, it hurt you, correct? Yeah. So if you sent the eye over, maybe into their captains, whatever, and you all up in the business, and they struck the eye.
alright, anyways, guys,
It does-
end of the session, end of the stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and toss you over to one of